But it's not just water in motion that shows invisible beauty. When temperatures drop and water goes from being a liquid to a solid, it takes on dazzling forms. If there's one person who can open the doors to this invisible world, it's physicist Ken Lebrecht, the snowflake fanatic. Lebrecht is an art collector, but what he collects are the works of nature, like these delicate ice crystals. Under his microscope, their amazing designs are revealed.
The snowflake is a really complex structure which appears out of nowhere. It starts with water vapor and ends up with a very elaborate shape. And it sort of cries out to be explained as to why exactly it has that shape. You'd be surprised at how little we really understand about how crystals grow, and snow crystals included.
To unlock the hidden mysteries of snowflakes, Lebrecht takes his camera right to the source.
I've been up to Alaska and Michigan and Vermont and Ontario and Sweden and Japan looking at snowflakes. Different locations produce different kinds of snowflakes, mainly because different locations have different climates.
Having studied snowflakes all over the world, Lebrecht is truly the man to answer the age-old question, are any two snowflakes the same? He says no.
The reason no two snowflakes are exactly alike is just that they're complicated, and the number of possible ways to make a snowflake is very close to infinite.
He delicately mounts the crystals, some less than a millimeter wide, on a glass slide. Then he photographs them through a microscope lens.
And each snowfall brings a different mix of crystals. It's really a lot of fun, to go out snowflake watching.
These thousands of snowflake photos are a great example of the endless diversity that nature produces. But back in his lab at Caltech, Lebrecht also builds his own designer snowflakes.
In terms of understanding the science, we like to grow our own snowflakes in the lab where we can control everything.
He simulates the conditions found in clouds thousands of meters above the Earth, where the tiny flakes form out of water vapor.
So what we have here is a machine for making snow crystals. You can think of it as like a big snow globe, except it's not clear, so we can't see inside, but we can look at the crystals as they fall to the bottom.
By adjusting the air temperature and humidity, he creates the extraordinary, a man-made snowflake, complete with its own signature design. Each new snowflake is a chance to learn more, from classic holiday stars to strange columns and needles. He estimates he's created millions of these faux flakes, and he'll create millions more. But he doubts he'll ever see two shapes exactly the same.
The number of possible ways of making a crystal is very, very large. It's bigger than all the molecules and all the stars and all the galaxies and all the universe. Okay, so it's a big number.
Which means that we get to see an endless variety.
When you look at one snowflake individually, it's really a little microcosm all into itself. It's really kind of an interesting little mystery going on, and it just falls out of the sky.
Shalom, this is Incandescence Ministries. Like I always say in my videos, I quote the seraphim angels saying that the whole earth is filled with God's glory. Now these snowflakes that God has created is proof of God, and I'm going to prove it with the word. At the end of the clip that you just saw, you saw the man trying to create his own snowflake. See, that's the white man that's trying to be God. And that's why unbelievers have a hard time believing in the Most High, because you want to take the earth which he has created and try to create your own elements, your artificial sciences. Okay? Faith is the evidence of things not seen. The snowflakes is proof of God. All snowflakes are different from one another. This is proof of God. This is his creation. And you see the clip, the white man, he's trying to make his own snowflake. I mean, it's just getting ridiculous, but ridiculous with the science of this world. But that's Esau trying to be God. But anyway, I'm going to prove furthermore that the snowflakes prove God is real. This is the Apocrypha that came out of the original King James 1611. Second Ezra chapter 5, verse 22. And my soul recovered the spirit of understanding, and I began to talk with the Most High again, and said, O Lord, thou bearest rule of every wood of the earth, and of all the trees thereof. Thou hast chosen thee one only vine, and of all the lands of the whole world thou hast chosen thee one pit. That's talking about the nation of Israel. And of all the flowers thereof one lily. The lily is God's favorite flower. The lily flower has six pointed sides, just like the snowflake. But I'm going to read on. And of all the depths of the sea thou hast filled thee one river, and of all the builded cities thou hast hollowed Zion unto thyself. This is breaking down God's favorites. Zion, above all the cities. Verse 26, and the lily, that's his favorite flower. Verse 26, and of all the fowls that are created, thou hast named thee one dove. The dove is God's favorite bird. It also represents Christ. And of all the cattle that are made, thou hast provided thee one sheep, the lost sheep of the house of Israel, or that can also represent Christ. Verse 27, and among all the multitudes of the people, thou hast gotten thee one people. The one people, who are they? The Israelites, you so-called black, Hispanics, Native Americans. Unto this people whom thou lovest, who gave us a law that is approved of all. All right. This is breaking down this is breaking down God's favorites. He has chosen one lily among all the flowers. Above all the birds, he chose the dove. And his favorite people among the earth is the Israelites that he loves. For the snowflake, the Lord had delight in thy fathers to love them, and he chose their seed after them, even you above all people, as it is this day. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 10. God is letting you know he chose the Israelites above his people. The Most High God has favorites. The snowflake that has 6 pointed stars is showing the love to his people. It's a reminder, just like the rainbow. Come out of the homosexuality. Come out of the non-belief of your God, you so-called black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Because like the seraphim angels say, the whole earth is filled with God's glory. Deuteronomy chapter 14 verse 2. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all the nations that are upon the earth. Y'all got to get that registered. The chosen people of God are the black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And some of y'all don't believe in your own God. I'm going to go back to Apocrypha again, because I just read and proved to you that God has chosen the Israelites above all the nations. It's his, again, 2 Ezra chapter 5 verse 22. And my soul recovered the spirit of the understanding, and I began to talk with the Most High again, and said, O Lord, thou bearest rule of every wood of the earth, and of all the trees thereof. Thou hast chosen thee one only vine. That's the Garden of Eden. That's the Garden of Eden, which is actually Israel. For y'all that's wise in the truth, that's been in the truth, y'all know what I'm talking about. That's Eden, which is actually Israel. And of all the lands of the whole world, thou hast chosen thee one pit, and of all the flowers thereof one lily. The lily has 6 sides, The snowflake has 6 sides. You're a fool to say God is not real, because he shows his love to his people. It's not that hard. Verse 25, and of all the depths of the sea, thou hast filled thee one river. And of all the builded cities, thou hast hollowed Zion unto thyself. And of all the fowls that are created, thou hast named thee one dove. And of all the cattle that are made, thou hast provided thee one sheep. And among all the multitudes of peoples, thou hast gotten thee one people. And unto this people whom thou lovest, thou gavest a law that is approved of all. The Most High is giving you the laws, the commandments, so you can have a closer relationship with him. You Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, alright? The snowflake itself, it's a 6-pointed star, which is similar to the Star of David. Okay? God, the whole earth is filled with his glory. Thanks for watching. Shalom to the 12 tribes.